brand new lore article just dropped like a second ago.
What? Holy shit! Oh, hold on.
So that means we need to.
We need to read it.
We need to jump on our post.
Where? Secret of the Aether Scribe?
Yep.
Is this Aurora? Oh, whoa. Holy shit, this is the long one. Whoa.
This is a pretty good one. Yeah, that's what I said. So there's Roots of Change, Essence of Decay, Seeds of Renewal, Secrets of Aether, and then there's Rosetta pre-release event, Rosetta previews, and then I think there's Ocilio deck tutorial. There is Verdance deck tutorial, multilingual fab, and Florian deck tutorial. Those are all of the current items that are Florian Blitz deck. There's Seeds of Renewal, Essence of Decay. Then there's the random Armory deck, Ashes of something. So like that's the current fab stuff. So
this is sick.
Oh
my god.
Stick the button over here on my thing to record here in a second. So we'll.
You got it.
That.
I'm just going to be reading this.
That is good. That is good. We're good there. That's good. Obviously, that's good. Check.
Check.
Okay. Rock on. For cam's sake, 5. Woodly-doodly-doodly-doo. All right, this is Geek Speak number 12 for the archive.
It's us.
Finding footage and making it work when you have multiple terabytes of stuff is just absurd. And I can't even begin to tell you the amount of there's 6 hard drives over there, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have one in front of me here. I need to get a whole new hobby of actually figuring out a way to make this.
You need to get a server.
Well, I had one, and the problem was it crashed because it was an old server. And TLDR, that I'm aware of, I didn't lose any data, but it's on its last leg, and I really am afraid to turn it back on. So I need to find a way to accumulate enough extra hard drives to suck all that data over and go bloop, and then start fresh. So, all right, okie dokie. Welcome to Geek Speak episode number 12. I can't believe it's 12. Does that mean 12 in a row? Can I do a fap pun here? We are at 12. Woot! Does that mean 3 months? Is that how that works? 3, 4 times 3? I mean...
Well, I guess there's 5 weeks this month. So there's 3 in a week or so.
I'll take the checkbox for the possible. I did film one right before this, which I know will actually mean that this one is a little bit later. That one was filmed at the last event that I just went to, which is called PopCon. That was in Kentucky, and that was over this last weekend here, the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. That was a pretty interesting event. And that episode is actually not even related to Flesh and Blood. It's related to RPGs, TTRPGs, and basically how to decide what system you might want to play, such as Pathfinder and stuff. That was a pretty cool little talk. So I'm hoping that will be out by the time this airs, because this is the number after that. So
right.
Otherwise, I wanted to first start today, before we went into the topic of what I'd like to do, which, by the way, welcome, Alex. Thank you for frequenting again. Sorry, I'm skipping all over stuff because I'm just super excited about a lot of different topics, but I wanted to showcase something that kind of came to us after the PopCon event. So I've only had it for about a week, but the things I can do with it now are just amazing, and with a little bit of tinkering, I feel like I can escalate into cool stuff for the community. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. I am on camera 6. We're going to go to camera 5 with no cut, just an immediate switch. So here we go, my boogie board. Boop, bye-bye. All right, we'll move that off. On top of the blaze mat. And things we were able to accomplish. We purchased a bamboo 3D printer, which does multicolor.
Oh!
So it's a little, this one is silver with red and the eyeballs are white. This is when we tried a different color combination. It's like a
oh my goodness, those are so cute.
And then this is the more traditional one. So this is your I got orange feet, green eyeballs. And then the more gaming centric stuff that I started looking at is These were 3D printed dice. So there's a D20.
Wow.
And then these are D6 as an example. And then, not that it's related to Fab, but these are multicolor Pokemon game faceplates for like the Nintendo Switch. But if I can manage to get a hold of some artwork that is for Flesh and Blood, and I have, I guess, permission to be able to even do it, not for resale, but just for myself, then I can, make something cool like this that I can have in the background of a video, right? Because I kind of like this whole flat, maybe lenticular. I don't know what the word is, like lenticular, or there's a word for like the art style that's just flat.
That's cool.
This would snap on something. So, these are just some of the things I wanted to showcase because, like, as I get deeper into this, I want to. There's like deck box ideas that I've seen. There's other various things. I don't have too many of them around close enough for me to go back to demonstrate. But there was a vendor at one point that had a deck box that had like a clamshell opening. And I kind of thought of a better way to redesign that because I used to do a lot of laser cutting and I really like the laser cut stuff. But I think that era has since passed. People don't really want to keep their cards in laser cut items anymore. They want to keep them in the nice neoprene. Like, this is it's a Pokemon one. I had it on the shelf, by the way. But inside of it is the new Azalea Armory deck.
There you go.
Which, speaking of which, let's kick off with that. So there's been a little bit of debate on. There's a 1 in 20 chance of getting something here. And I am genuinely confused. Okay, so how do I know if this one is the special?
Is the cloak red or purple?
Well, that's what I don't understand. So, like, somebody was saying, like, look at this, it has to be like blue instead of gray. Yeah. But the cloak is a rainbow foil cloak, and it's like a multicolor rainbow. So
so from what I know is that the one you are holding is the regular version, and that is because you can tell the background is more grayish blue, whereas the new one, or the exclusive one, is kind of a lighter blue or like a darker blue. But it's really the cloak that does it for me, because all the spots on that cloak that are red in that card in the rainbow foil are purple in the other one. So that's how you can tell. So if it's got the purple, then it is a purple version of it. I am not sure what, now that we know that it's like 1 in 20 boxes, I'm not sure if there's a premium on that somewhere on the open market, but I don't know.
I'm not buying another 19 of these damn things. I'll tell you that.
Did you see the other misprints though?
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't see the other misprints. No. I'm about to take you on a ride.
Oh.
Take a look at the Death Dealer that comes in that deck.
Okay, 1 second. So you're talking the actual weapon itself?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So if you look at Death Dealer, read its effect.
Okay, once per turn action, 1 resource : if you have no cards in your arsenal, put an arrow from your hand face up into your arsenal. If you do, draw a card, go again.
So the actual Death Dealer text says you may put an arrow into your arsenal. That says put an arrow into your arsenal, which makes it a must instead of a may, but the actual text is may. So that's a misprint, kind of fun. Another thing to bring up, go find that Lace of Blood Rot in the deck.
Which, there's only 1 of them?
No, Lace with Blood Rot, there's 3 of them, it should be.
Dang it.
I
made it go kaboom. Hey, well, Lace with Inertia, I'm sure I can find it. Holy crap. That's what you get. I was going to actually, so I put it in sleeves because I opened it in the Airbnb. I haven't even gotten to do a review on this yet. That's one of the things I wanted to do, but apparently now it's not going to be in the order anymore. Oh, well.
You can see right there.
That one?
Now read that, though. What is that? What is the card called?
Lace with Blood Rot. Your next arrow gets +3. When this hits a hero, create a Blood Rot Pox token under their control. Now,
take a look at that word in the main text, Blood Rot, and then take a look at the title of the card again.
Blood Root. Wow.
Okay. So, turns out there's another misprint there. Is that it's we have Lace with Blood Roots now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Now, obviously, there's probably there's more than I have not actually dug into this, but I'm sure there's an errata that just says that Lace with Blood Root is in fact Lace with Blood Rot. So you don't run 6, but that is a thing. So
that's cute. That's fun.
Yeah, so fun little things. So you got that. You've got the whole hidden agenda thing. I think it's cool because like the card is called hidden agenda, and for the chess piece. So, some Star Wars Oreos.
What's your 50-50? Are we getting red or blue Oreos? Because this is what I'm.
Oh, we're getting red.
We're getting red.
Yeah, we got to be dark side, right? Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
All right, who's the character?
Yeah.
First character. Kylo, I think. Nope, is that Emperor?
I can't even tell. That might be Palpatine. That looks like Palpatine to me.
There's Maul. There's Vader. Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. We got a little nugget of something in the middle. All right, well, I'm going to get fat while we have this one, so.
Yeah, right? Damn, now I need me some Oreos.
All right. So, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of things.
Mm-hmm.
We are T-minus 1 week, basically.
Yeah.
Away from the release.
It's crazy to think and it's not, to be fair, not the release, but the world premiere of Rosetta. And this flew by. I can't even believe that the world premiere is next week. This entire week as spoiler season was happening, I didn't even realize that it was the spoiler season week until I started seeing new cards. I'm like, oh, we're getting them now. That's really cool. So it's been great. I've been very, very happy to check out all this stuff. There's so many. I gotta say, you either really love this set or you really hate the set. And I know who really hates this set. Wizard players. Wizard players hate this set.
So when I looked at this is the rarity breakdown.
Uh-huh.
It looks like we have a general idea of some of the marvels. We know every token.
Yep.
We know almost every common.
Yep.
Almost every rare.
Mm-hmm.
And 50% of the Majestics.
Which is pretty good. Like, considering 50% of the Majestics and still the 5 legendaries and Fable to, like, uncover, I think there really is just going to be one of those situations where anybody who's going to go play Sealed at Tampa is just going to be having such a wild time because they're going to crack open a Majestic. They're going to be like, what in the hell do I do with this? And they're going to have to figure it out on the fly. And it's very, very, it's a different approach, but I've heard several good things about how they're doing spoiler like releases with the commons and rares first. But I've also heard some people say that they'd much prefer having the spicier stuff first and then get commons and rares. But those people don't play Commoner and Clash like I do. And so that's why I'm super excited for the commons and rares first and not for the Majestics and legendaries.
I think it's better to do exactly what they've done because it goes back to my younger years of when I would play other TCGs, Magic specifically. And you would go to a pre-release and you'd have no freaking clue what was happening. This is like not pre-internet days because the internet existed, but like in 2006, 7, 8, through 10 or whatever, 2006 through 10.
Right.
You would basically go to an LGS and you would get to experience it by opening the pack and saying, holy crap, what did I get? What do I do? They're kind of going back to that. In the day of mass box openers and LGS is getting stuff in advance and people supposedly getting LGS promos, things are going to leak everywhere. So you can keep your eyes shut and you can watch it unfold and do the right thing and enjoy it as you enjoy it. Or you can try to seek all the answers and be competitive and do whatever you're trying to do to make your little, happy dance happen kind of a thing. But I'm just excited to see where things are. I'm going to put my chip on the table here, and I'm going to say I think that we are getting finally a return of a landmark. I hope we're getting another landmark as the Fable.
You hope we're getting another landmark? I'm honestly, and this is so like this might be just be insane because I don't think landmarks are great, and I think I like that they're thematic, which is very cool. right? But even after looking at Great Library of Solana and Corsham, and like even in the current meta, right? You see Grand Library being used, but sometimes you don't because it doesn't, it depends on who's piloting the deck on whether or not they like library. But like the gems end up seeing so much more play, and the landmarks end up just being fun things to stop other land. Like people pick up the Deathmatch Arena just so they can destroy Great Library of Solana. Not because they need Deathmatch Arena to do really well in their deck, but it's strictly just to destroy another landmark. And that's wild to me. Like I feel like landmarks just are not, they're not meant for the 1v1 play, but I don't know. I just, they don't look or feel like important cards for a deck. They feel more important as a collectible, and that's cool. But as far as a competitive thing, I'd much rather a card that's well, I guess that's not true because I also don't want a card that's like a fabled card that's super hard to pull to be a super powerful card that everybody's going to need to run, because that's also bad.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's never going to be a balance between those two. At least I don't think there will be, right? Like there'll always be some level of chase desirability, whether it's Rainbow Foil, Cold War, but honestly, in 2.0, the way it seems to have panned out so far, the RF the RF the RF Fableds, Rainbow Foil Fableds are pretty affordable for the most part. So I'm not as worried. And I think they purposely make them maybe very niche in a specific deck, or they have an idea for them, and the community just hasn't figured out for some of them. I hope.
Yeah.
So, anyways, how do you want to approach this? Because we have such a wide array of things. Do you want to go by class? Do you want to go by rarity? Because we can't cover everything. Like, I mean, we'd be here for forever.
Honestly, we should probably go by class.
Okay.
Because it's probably just going to be easier in that regard.
So let's start with the give me's. It looks like this is an expansion card slot. So
yeah,
Skull Splatter. First, this art is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Second, I want to know who this is, because I don't think this is Reinar.
Is that not? Hold on. I think that's.
I think there is probably somebody that's been mentioned before, but I don't exactly know who this is. But from the art perspective, I'm definitely thinking it at some point might be Hero. So the reason I'm very focused on art in this set is one of the keynote pieces that came out in this reveal, right, is that by the end of this year, which there's only one more deck left, we will be introduced to a new CC hero.
Yep.
Right? We'll have a new CC hero that will be introduced to the game, not through a main set, but through that. So could that be the Terra that's in this, the adult version of Terra, since that was not, here, but there is an adult version of Aurora, if I understand right.
Yep.
So that's on my possible to-do list. That seems like too much of a give me. It could also be, similar to DM Armada's spoiler video and his little pirate ship thing, maybe it could be a preview of another hero from the next set. So maybe it's an alchemist, maybe it's a necromancer, maybe it's a whole new class.
Right.
Maybe it's a hero that has been in the lore, or maybe it's one of the younger heroes that has never had an adult. Like, those are if I had to pick on 5 things, those are the 5 things I'm thinking of that would be. Which, any of those are exciting possibilities, right? And I think either way it'll be kind of cool. I hope they kind of slow trickle it. And honestly, I really, 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 really hope if they do a new hero that you get to see the hero only, maybe the weapon, and the rest of it, you got to buy the deck and you got to see it. Like, I hope that that's the way they approach it. And I know people will be all up in arms, like, I need to see it for I can be competitive and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but I want to have that experience of cracking it open, not knowing a damn thing, and being able to just figure it out, like, just play with it. Which, again, I can do by just not looking at stuff, but I think it would be more fun instead of going to a very hardcore pre-release or whatever, but just go to a night and be like, hey, everybody, we're going to play the new hero. Let's just jump in, figure it out.
And I like the concept, but there's one thing that hiding information from players and buyers, it does, and that's ruins the amount of possible pre-orders for people, because if you don't know what's in it, you might not ever want to buy it, and then once you have the opportunity to get it, you might not be able to get it because you couldn't get your pre-order in.
Yeah,
So
it's a double-sided sword.
There's a lot, but also like pre-orders or whatever, right? Like if that is the case and people are just like, okay, because you're either going to get it early, you're going to be one of the first people to open it, or you're going to be hopping onto the internet day one of the deck being released, and you're going to see it all anyway. So it's hard pressed to make it hidden, but I like the concept because I think it'd be cool just to like, especially if it's a brand new class, like what? Like that would be insane for me to just be like, yeah, necromancer class. I don't know what any of this does, and then we're just gonna have to like go watch the LSS video where they tell you how to play this hero into like Azalea or Bolton or KO, and it's gonna be such a wild concept. But no, it'd be cool. I mean, we know we're gonna get a new hero because it's the last one of the year, and we were promised to do hero in the armory decks. I think Terra's a good choice considering Rosetta, but I also think that we could see something like new wizard, maybe not Blaze, but maybe an ice wizard of some variety.
Oh yeah, like
pretty
a
cool.
Bring back of some LL version hero or something. That's an interesting idea. So because ice at some point will need to come back. So
yep.
All right. Well, without further ado, we have Skull Splatter. Just kidding. It's Splatter Skull. It's a red, cost 2, 6 power, 3 defense. So it would trigger Intimidates based on the 6, if I recall. When it hits a hero, choose a face-down card in the Banish Zone. If it was banished by Intimidate this turn, put that into their graveyard. So it is not only do you get screwed from the Intimidate, but now I get to pull that card out that you basically... Because they'll know what it is if it's from their hand. But now you could be like, hey, bye-bye. You don't get to keep that. So it's kind of a fun little card. This is an expansion slot card from what I understand, too. So
yes.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty good.
Any other comments on this one?
No, I like it. It's a 2 cost 6 for 3 that destroys the card and banish. I think it's pretty good. So
all right, we got 12 generics. All right, first and foremost, we got the crack bubble. Bam, baby.
That's
right
the one.
Here.
There it is.
End video.
There it is.
We're out. Good day.
And I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see in this one. There's a little bit more cracks in the bottom left hand corner there. You can see a little bit more cracks.
You really think it's? I'm gonna have to. I'll have to see if I can get a Photoshop and then like transparent this and lay it over another one.
I'm just messing with you. I don't think there's any cracks.
Killing me. I still want to know what's inside it. But all right, we got a crack bottle. We know that. I do want to call this out because it is exciting. This is another example of LSS not reinventing the wheel, but instead leveraging existing cards, card structures, and IPs to bring them back and bring them forward. Findel's Fighting Spirit, obviously a card that was, I believe, made famous by the world champion Michael Hamilton in that Icelander or Bowlander deck, whatever I think that the term of it, right? Or did he use this? I thought he did.
He used the it's usually Wounded Bull is actually probably the card he used most, which is why it ended up being called Bowlander. But Findel's Fighting Spirit is a card you can use in there because it does still gain you a life and has 7 power.
So that being brought back is pretty fantastic.
Did you see what's new about Final? I'm not going to pull your leg this time. Do you see what's different about Findel's Fighting Spirit? Big news.
A common.
It's a common now.
They
got a downshift. Yep.
Okay, I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something. You're not screwing with me. And that's something fun to start looking for is all these rarity shifts, right? St. Below has now come up.
There are 2 more. There are 2 more rarity shifts that we've seen so far, and I'm expecting to see more. So
nice. I'm going to stick on the token next. We know Ponder is in here, so that's fine.
Yep.
We're going to go with the 2 pieces of equipment because I like generic equipment. We have what appears to be an Everfest return, a bruised leather. I do like the little tankard in the background. There's like a jester back over here of some sort, and this is a generic chest. It is common, so common are usable. Destroy this, prevent the next 1 damage to be dealt to you this turn. Activate only if you've been dealt damage this turn. So I'm assuming this is good against ninjas or go wide decks, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you can utilize it to where it's like Kadachi for one, and then destroy this to prevent the next Kadachi. It's also really good for rune chants. If you get hit with one rune chant, you can use it to block another rune chant. So
I am rune chant dumb. See, this is why this set. Okay, somebody asked me. I think it was Bronson actually asked me how deep I was going to go into this set, and the reason I need to relearn. Right, I'm a mech main. I know a lot of mech. I dabble in other classes, but honestly, I have never really been proficient in wizard. I've never really been proficient in rune blade, and I've not really been proficient with the whole Tales of Aria block with the variety of different things, they infuse elements and stuff. So
right.
like this is just weird to me, but I like the set, I like the concept, but I have a lot of learning because my knowledge is like only the iceberg, like it's the top layer of the surface of the thing. Like I have very thin sheet of ice worth of knowledge, so this is fun because I get to learn a lot of things, and I'm hoping to
Yeah.
learn some stuff from you as you're chatting with me on some of these. We have Runaways. This is a reprint from Tales of Aria,
Yep.
which again, kind of exciting to see. Glad again that they are just re-leveraging certain things instead of reinventing a wheel.
And it's good because Runaways is essentially the same as Bruised Leather, but now Bruised Leather is a chess piece. So now you have a Runaways chess piece as well as the feet. So
Excellent. Yep. We have a rare Hand Behind the Pen. The again, artwork looks pretty cool here, and this kind of reminds me of maybe a character from like Game of Thrones that has like a kind of maybe a two face or a mask that they're able to do. So this is pretty sweet. It's a pretty. There's a lot of really big attack stuff, like six attack, two defense. So this is, I mean, for a generic, right? This can slot into almost any deck.
yeah,
When it hits a hero, turn a card from their arsenal face up, then banish a non-attack action from their arsenal. Seems situational, but it also seems pretty good. Like,
every one of these Arsenal destruction cards I think are pretty situational. I think they're good if you're trying to tech them into certain heroes, but for the most part, you're probably just going to be running Command and Conquer in any case. So like Tongue Tied, same
next
deal,
up,
right? This
yeah.
is just a stronger version, but it only chooses instant cards in the arsenal.
Yep.
So
It's a 3 cost too, so it costs a little bit more to get that 7.
Yep.
And then what? Smash Up is
a 1 for 5.
So it's that kind of interesting, right? You have a 1 for 5, a 2 for 6, and a 3 for 7. I feel like that is a cycle they did on purpose.
Yeah, that's on rate. I mean, they do that. I think that's about the same cycle they normally do. So like for instance, you have I can't think of anything right now, but normally it's like if 6, like 5s and 6s tend to be 2 cost, 1s or 4s and 5s tend to be 1 cost, and then like 7s and plus tend to be like 3+ cost. So usually, but not always.
So next up we have our first, we're talking about auras. This is a sigil of cycles. So again, this is kind of neat. Auras, if I understand right, is when they are played, they become a permanent on the field, or on your combat chain, or not the combat chain, but just on your mat or on your side of the play ecosystem. And then it looks like most of them have at a beginning of your something. So like this case, action phase, destroy this. When it leaves the arena, discard a card, then draw a card. So this is very much reminiscent in my eyes of like a cycling card in Magic the Gathering. And maybe there's some cool combo with this that'll come up. And then there is another one here, Sigil of Findale. Both these were blue. I think the Sigil of Cycles is 0 as well. And it looks like this one is again, gives you the action point back. Beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When it leaves the arena, gain 1. So maybe this is a good combo card for if that hero in the set is really more of a health gain hero, then that plays right in. It's an option, right? So
yeah, it's not a bad thing to play in Verdance, for sure. So
we got the only illusionist card so far, Flutter Steps. It's a Majestic, so that's a higher tier card. This is, I believe, an expansion card. When this is destroyed, you may put your next aura this turn as though it were. You may play your next aura as though it were an instant with Ward 1. Why is Ward useful? I mean,
it's good because it's defensive. It's essentially Blade Break 1, but you don't get to choose when to use it almost. But in this situation, it's pretty good, kind of, because it means that you can You can essentially equip this, and then if you block ward on your opponent's turn, you can then begin your turn, or you can end their turn or whatever by playing something at instant speed for you to attack with. Um, I'm not sure on its actual effects yet. Enigma New Moon will probably love that, but not. I don't know. I haven't done enough testing into it personally. So this
Yeah.
one's for you though.
Yeah, this one's a Mac and it's the Da Vinci stuff, man. I'm hyped for seeing more of this, and I was trying to figure out if they would like maybe go together if you put all the sheets together, if there would be a scenario where that is.
No.
Modular moves from zone to zone. This is a mechanologist base equipment, so it can be
Yep.
used for Tech Boss and some other stuff. You get Arcane Barrier 1, so that's kind of nice. And that's really about all this is, but I think I need to get me a set of these. I still technically need to purchase some additional ones from the bright light set because I don't have my full set of 3 of those. Because these, I believe, still follow the rule where you can only have up to 3 in CC or 2 in Blitz. So need to be on that one.
Yep. Those are good though.
Gust Wave, the second wind is a Majestic 4 ninja combo, 4 attack, 3 defense. If Surging Strike's the last attack, gets go again. So it seems like, again, just an alternate combo line that you can pile into.
Yep. A lot of people were upset about this card.
Why? Why?
It's because people are assuming, and again, we haven't seen all the cards that come out of Rosetta's expansion slot yet, so this is not the end all be all. But there was talk from a developer, I can't remember from who, but the fact that the Bonds of Ancestry ban for Zen ended up making Katsu worse. They were like, don't worry, Katsu's going to get good stuff in Rosetta. Don't worry about it. And this is what they got. And a 0 for 4 that you have to play Surging Strike into is like very specific. And it's not, I guess, like it just doesn't hit the spot for a lot of ninja players. I think it's cool because you can just pitch a blue and then come in for, Surging Strike, go again, Gust Wave, or Gust Wave, go again, and then just kind of continue the chain. But in most cases, you'd rather just play red Whelming Gust Wave because then you get the +1, the go again, and you get to draw a card on hit, which makes Whelming Gust Wave a better card outside of in total. So I don't know. I'm not a ninja player, so I wouldn't know, but I hear the rumors.
So this card is apparently the card that when the world premiere of Heavy Hitters down in New Zealand happened, and the winner of that event, which is Brody Spurlock, I believe, won.
Mm-hmm.
This was his card he developed, if I remember correctly.
Oh, this is the one?
Yes. I thought.
I don't have any confirmation on that, but I know Brody's card was the most ridiculous text you could ever find in the entirety of the thing, and this doesn't seem that ridiculous.
Okay, maybe I am mixing things up. I thought this might have been it, but I probably, now that I'm saying it, I remember it being some sort of shell game with cards. So
you can't. Yeah, they could not print what Brody wanted, and they have to work with him. I don't know when that's going to come out, if at all, but it's. I don't think it's this.
Okay, well, a couple things I see about this. The artwork points me back to in D&D, I'm playing a swashbuckler now instead of like a rogue assassin. So like either swashbuckler or like pirates. Maybe swashbuckler becomes a class because technically in, I don't know, again, if we start looking at, Flesh and Blood as like D&D classes or Pathfinder classes, there could be some specialization or crossover where you could have something like, in this case, a pirate or a swashbuckler. But this does say ranger, so obviously this is a specific ranger. But the art in here, to me, is very indicative of what I would look at as like a swashbuckler or a maybe a rogue assassin, because they're doing some crazy like stealthy stuff. But this one very clearly is a Riptide card.
Yep.
So
you're looking for traps.
Enjoy.
But
Riptide.
Of course, any ranger can play traps, but Riptide plays them best. So
all right, we got 50 Ruin Blade. They're going to come back to that. We're going to look at the Warrior one. We got Unsheathed, which obviously shows Kasai's back with 2 swords. This is a expansion slot because it's a 0 for your next sword gets +3. And when it stacks, if it's greater than twice its basic, it's go again. Go again. So
Yeah.
basically gives the sword go again for 0, and it's also a 3 defense. I mean, sounds solid to me.
Yep. It's really it's actually really good because you're able to easily pump up most of the attacks with her just like overall Centauri Saber plan. So even if you go in and you play that and then you attack for 5 with a Centauri Saber, you're already getting double what the Centauri Saber's attack value is, which is 2, because you're at 5, you're attacking for 5. So it automatically has go again. And if you're playing it in Kasai, then Kasai, if you draw a card, your weapons are free. So you just get to swing in with a whole bunch of extra stuff. Very good, but it's also very good for Dorinthia too, because it's another way to get go again and a bunch of value there. So yeah. Yep. It's good. I like it.
Brought back the 2 auras here.
Yep.
These came mostly, I think, Tales of Aria was when those first showed up.
Yep.
So we have Lightning and Earth. We'll come back to those. So, of the 2 major classes, what would you like to go with first, Runeblade or Wizard?
So only because I love Runeblade significantly more than Wizard, I would choose Runeblade, but also because unfortunately Wizard got a lot of cards that are like the same. So
I
they're
saw
not
some memes about that, but I guess I didn't quite get it.
I it's just cuz so for Wizards, before we get into Runeblades, for Wizards, a lot of the cards that were printed in common and rare for Wizard are equivalent to the same damage output as Zap. And Zap is just a comfortable 0 for 3 and as a red, or a 0 for 1 as a blue. And that's just like all they printed was a bunch of deal 3 arcane damage, deal 2 arcane damage, deal 3 arcane damage, and then they reprinted Aether Quickening, which also got a downshift to common. And so that's probably the coolest thing that happened there, is because now Wizards have a new fun thing to do in commoner. But outside of it, a lot of it, these Majestics have to be really, really good for Wizards before people decide to play Wizard, because right now they don't seem anywhere near as good as Runeblades do, and we'll see why.
All right. Well, that's some interesting data, because I've been trying to keep a little I mean, obviously, I'm looking to spoil these revealed cards right now, but I've been keeping a little bit of a distance on this, not because it's going to be at all possible for me to go into my local pre-release with no knowledge, right? But I've been just working on so many other things I haven't been able to dive too deep. So,
Right.
the heroes in this set, there are, it looks like, 2 of each of the classes. So we have the Aurora Shooting Star, which is the Essence of Lightning version, and we
Yep.
have the Florian, who is the, I guess, Elemental Earth Runeblade. So for all Runeblade cards, there will be a option to use both a Lightning and a Earth, which is kind of intriguing given that we have both Earth and Lightning. So, and the same holds true for the Wizard class, where you have a Essence of Lightning and an Essence of Earth. So,
Yep.
I'd love to say that they're all split, but truly, you can build with any card from anything, which means that I'm sure that there is some reasoning, especially maybe collation, or how they're going to do like the drafting capabilities, or what is possible in a pack composition to have enough cards to be able to pull this off. So,
Yeah.
I think for us, we are probably, me and you, at least, pretty aware of the heroes, but just for sake of anybody who may not know, if you're watching this, picking up for the first time, great, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, join both YouTube channels so you can grow. He's close to 2K. Yeah, he'll get there.
Yeah.
He'll probably be 2K by the time this releases, so congrats. I'll say that in advance. So
Thank you.
once per turn instant, 2 resources. Create an embodiment of lightning token. Activate if you've played a lightning card this turn. So, embodiment of lightning says, when you play an attack action card, destroy this and it gets go again. So I will guess that most lightning cards do not have go again, and the expectation is you are generating go again from this pitching to create a go again.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think it's really more so a lot of Runeblade cards don't have go again. A lot of Elemental cards don't have go again. So the lightning stuff is what will help give them go again. But
Gotcha.
a lot of lightning stuff that is printed in here does actually have go again, which is really, really cool.
Nice.
Or if it's not at go again, it's an instant card. And
Okay.
so you can play it at instant speed, activate her ability to then have at least 2 to 3 cards in a combat chain. So
Got it.
pretty good.
So here's Florian. There's now I should caveat this that this was one of the kind of call-outs that really happened where the adult has a different ability by just a numeric value than the young. But
Yep.
this is if there are 8 more Earth cards in your banished zone, Florian gets if it would create 1 or more Aura tokens, instead create that many +1, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the adult is 8, young is 4. And
Yep.
let's look at the first couple of things here. We got a Runeblade chest, commoner, 0 defense. Destroy this and an aura you control. Wait, destroy this and an aura you control. Gain 1 resource. Go again. So
Yep.
mini tunic.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think in most cases, if you're doing that specifically, there's a reason for you to play Bloodtorn Bodice. And it's if you want to destroy any of a big thing about the set is that any of the sigils, right? Any of the sigil cards, those all have an ability that say when they leave the arena, do X thing. And so Bloodtorn Bodice allows you to destroy this and then also destroy one of those sigils that you might have. Or if it needs to be a rune chant, it can do that too. And then you'll gain a resource. If you're looking for a deck that just gains a resource, and you want to only just gain a resource at any point at action speed, you can play Blossom of Spring, right? Yeah. So you can play that. But otherwise, if you're looking to destroy an aura, specifically any of those sigils, Bloodtorn Boss is a pretty good choice. So
I guess we'll look at the hand real quick. This
yeah,
is an arm. Sorry, not hand. It is a hand, but it's an arm.
it is a hand.
Destroy this. Create a rune chant. Go again. Seems
Yep.
straightforward.
Pretty good. Vexing Quill hand, but for 1.
we have the lightning runeblade weapon sword 2-hand, and we have
Yep.
the earth runeblade weapon sword 2-hand. So they are. I want to pull out that they are both swords, so
Yep.
can be buffed by things that help swords.
Yep.
So this is 2 resources attack once per turn. If you've played or created an aura, this gets +2. So it's either a default 2 or it can be a 4, which is a breakpoint. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So at nothing
It'll
else,
probably be a 4.
at nothing else, play an aura or create an aura. Get go again. Pitch to create a 2 resource and then come in for 4. Like that seems like the most basic turn you can do.
Yep.
All right, Starfall. 1 resource attack for 1. If you played a lightning card, it gets +1 and go again. So this again probably combos on maybe a little bit of a longer chain. I think lightning will probably be something that's going to expand, maybe kind of like a ninja style long combat chain. Sounds like possibly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. I consider Lightning Runeblade right now to be a like if you gave a ninja arcane damage, which is just insane to me. So
So arcane cussing. This one has three different pitches. Looks like that one costs 1. That one costs 1. That one costs 1. Defense 2.
mm-hmm.
Create a rune chant token. Create 2 rune chant tokens and create 3 rune chant tokens. So when this is an aura, so this would be a permanent on the field.
Yep.
Art is freaking awesome. Head in a jar.
Mm-hmm.
Head in a thing. I don't know what that is. It's purple goo. It's Ghostbusters all over the place. When you are dealt damage, destroy this. So you want to, painfully damage yourself, and then at that point, get 3 rune chant tokens, which I'm sure is good. Good trade,
Yeah.
sounds like.
And it's also when you deal damage too, so that's good. But I think the more important thing here, we'll go over the rest of these cards before I start going over combo things.
Sure.
I've already thought like 8,000 things ahead. So
Arcane Seeds in Life is a split card. Now this is meld. I'm going to pause and we're going to talk a little bit about this. Just the first one a little bit more in detail, and then we'll kind of gloss over the other ones. The meld mechanic, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I originally thought this was going to be like the Outsiders duel, either or. It was so in the programmatic world, right? That was an or operator on those cards. This is like an and operator. You have to be a Runeblade and an Earth hero to have this even in your deck. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes.
So you have an or option, but they chose on these to be an and option. But you have the ability to pick a right Twix or left Twix. So
Yep.
every time this happens, I'm going to come to a game with Twix, and I'm going to be like, "You want the right Twix or left Twix?" So,
Bro, if you just keep handing me Twix in the middle of a game, I will gladly play every game against you. Just hand me a bunch of Twix.
I'm going to have to buy a lot of stock in Twix.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
All right, so this one is a create a rune chant once, then create a rune chant again, and
Yep.
then go again, or gain a life, depending on how you approach it. They both cost 0, so it would be technically free to do one or the other or both, and I'm assuming circumstances will mean something. Next is Burn Up and Shock. This one is a Rune Blade Lightning. Sorting is going to be a GD nightmare for this. Holy
I'm
crap.
so upset already about it. I'm gonna get all this bulk. I'm gonna be so mad.
I am not looking forward to. I've already pre-arranged, by the way. I have made a deal with somebody that is going to be. I believe the number is. I think it's 40,000, or no, not 40,000. What 40 cases worth of bulk? Whatever.
40 cases worth of bulk?
I think it's up to 40. I think it's up to 40 cases worth of bulk. I need to get the final details on that, but at the moment,
Yo, so what? That's like 100. That's 160 boxes worth of bulk.
it should fit into about 5 or 6 flat rate boxes. I think I'm making sure. I'm gonna do my math live real quick.
Ooh, that's a lot.
I want to make sure
that's
I'm
a
not,
lot.
I don't want to lie here. I want to be truthful. So hold on. So it's each box is 24 packs. There are on average. So if you take out the foil, because they're keeping foils, they're keeping Majestic, and you get the tokens. So 16 minus 2, call it 14 on average. You're getting 14 cards per pack. Would be probably an average. You might go
For bulk?
For bulk, yeah. Because they're taking out if they get a Majestic, they're taking that out. There's only going to be like 6 to 8 in a box, I would assume, and they're taking out the foils. So in a box, if you were to go 16 total, that's how many's in a box. Now you're taking out the 24 foils. You're taking out the, let's call it 10 Majestics. So each box, call it 350 cards as a box. Like that's the bulk of the box.
Yeah, that's about right.
So
times 160.
Times that by 4 is 1 case, is 1,400 cards, and then times that by, I think they're doing 10 cases, right? That's 40 boxes. Or actually, no, it'd be probably 30 cases.
Okay. So it's 40 boxes, not 40 cases.
Well, hold on, let me divide that by 40. Divide that. How did I do this? I screwed up. 350 is per box. Times 4 boxes is 1 case. Oh God, what'd I do? I broke it.
You clicked out of the thing.
350 times 4. There you go. That 1,400 is 1 case worth of cards. I believe there's going to be 30 cases. That's 42,000 cards.
Woof.
That's what
42,000 cards.
Divide that
for just Rosetta?
For just Rosetta. Yep, that's about right.
Yo. That's ridiculous, my man. That's a lot. I gotta say, I just picked up like 15, almost like 18,000 cards from my locals just this last weekend, and like it's been a daunting task to get it all sorted and everything. So like 42, if shoot, who's your guy? I'll pick up some from him. Like,
I'll probably end up splitting some with you if you need some. Like, to be honest,
I'm down. Absolutely.
And to confirm, I'm not going to give the person's name, but he did say in the statement here in my DMs, 30 to 40 cases, which will end up being 4 to 8 of the USPS large flat rate boxes. So yes, we're talking probably 40 total. And I have prepaid for, I think 5 or 6 of those at this point, case-wise, or 5 or 6 of those USPS boxes, with the, I guess, added option to go higher if I need to. So
wow.
Yep. And that's kind of how I've been. That kind of goes back to the Bronson question of how I'm approaching stuff. I'm still going to buy sealed, cases and do my thing and get the higher tier cards. But honestly, it's just much more affordable and efficient to just basically go and get the folks that just don't care about the stuff and just make the commons and build the sets.
Absolutely.
I can get so much more of that than people are basically willing to, because there's most people just throw it away.
I got that 18,000 cards I was just talking about. I got them for free.
Yeah.
I got them for free, but I bought the Mana Coffee because I was like, thank you for thinking about me. And this was before I even knew how much I was getting. I expected to get like a case worth of bulk, like 350 cards. And he was like, no, I got you, buddy. And he just cracks his trunk open. And I'm like, you're kidding me.
Yeah,
I'm
I've had
rich now in this.
in my life. I have had 3 or 4 of those scenarios where I went in with an expectation of I didn't think I was getting this much, and then I pulled up, and the guy was like, "You don't have enough space." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then like they open the back of the van, and it's just like ceiling to floor, full of like 5,000
Oh
little
my
boxes, and I'm like,
gosh.
"Oh my crap!" So like I mean, I've done this before I started, like right before I started Flesh and Blood. There was a judge in Magic the Gathering that literally had a minivan full of cards that when I went to him, I forget what number I gave him, but I got all of that, and it was like a 500,000 bulk. It was some insane amount of cards. I still haven't
That's
gone through the whole
wild.
thing.
That's
Um,
wild.
but the deals are out there if people are looking for right there. I mean,
Absolutely.
the problem is storage. That's number one, and the other
Yes.
thing is. But anyways, that's other stuff that's not spoiler related, but that's just a fun little side tangent. But yes, so
We can make a whole podcast on that.
sorting these are going to be interesting because my neck is going to get real weird when I'm like, oh yeah, everything's sideways because
Yeah, it's going to be kind of annoying, but luckily, you can get through because that's going to be the downfall is that normally I'm looking for the borders.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to see the borders for these because they're not going to be on the sides. They're up and down. So we'll see. We'll see how upset I get about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Every set's going to be exciting. I can't wait till they do something like I heard somebody was saying in the mini decks. I guess they brought back the tear in half cards again, so that's kind of exciting. So mini tokens. We got Burn Up and Shock. This is a 0 meld. The next time attack you control hits, this hero deals 4 can damage to them and then deal 1 to any target. I feel like this is like an Ashwing Destroyer.
Yeah,
not
pretty much.
But the Ashwing token.
No, it's definitely for arcane targets to target anything instead of just a hero are definitely meant for allies, like specifically.
So Condemned to Slaughter. This one is your next rune blade attack. This turn gets +3. You may destroy an aura you control. If you do, each opponent destroys an aura permanent they control. I feel like this is like an alternate board removal thing. I don't know how this is going to work, but it sounds pretty crazy.
Well, if you can see what that does is you can destroy a rune chant and destroy your opponent's Arc-like Sentinel.
Sounds exciting.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Are the angels considered auras too?
No, the angels are allies.
Okay, so they can't do that. That'd be kind of crazy.
No, yeah, they are that. But you can also destroy things like their Spectra. So you can destroy Genesis and Merciful Retribution and Passing Mirage, Pierce Reality. You can do that. So it's really, really cool.
Yes, Fizzy, I am on a video. I cannot pet you more right now. My cat wants to sit in my chair. This is Deadwood Dirge, 0 across the board, all 3 pitches, it looks like. Deadwood Dirge has a multitude of things, but it says destroy an aura you control. If you do, create 3, 2, or 1 rune chant tokens respectively. Go again. So next up we have Germinate. This one seems to be an only of because it is a Majestic, so higher level tier rarity. This is a double X card, specialization card, so only 1 in the deck. Seems like this is kind of an ultimate finisher, and I'm thinking that's going to be, if that's not already a playmat, that'll definitely be a playmat.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the fabled, maybe that's, the essence of Earth. I don't know. I mean, definitely pretty cool. This is the create a rune chant embodiment of Earth, repeat X more times, and then also gain a boatload of life. So if you pump 10 into it, you'll get a lot of life. 11. Well, 10 would get you 5. Sorry, because double X.
Yeah, 10 would get you 5, but also that's a lot. Like being able to do that. If
you had a grip of 4 blues, and this was one of them, you could pitch 3, 6, 9 into it, which would really be 8. So that's 4 plus 1 is 5, right?
Yeah, so you'd gain 5 life, and then you could also theoretically, because this can only be played in Florian, if Florian's ability is live, you could make 8 rune chant tokens or 8 embodiment of earth tokens.
Sounds sick.
Or you can like mix and match, right? Because you can repeat X times. So
hit the high notes. We got a singer in the house. Opera. This is if you played or create an aura, it gets +2. So this is a 1 for 6, 1 for 5, 1 for 4. Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
This was probably an intellectual property issue. Just kidding. That's this one's a common. Hocus Pocus 0. A lot of these are zeros, which is kind of crazy to me. But this looks like a 3/3 rune chant maker, and then the blue one is a 1/3 rune chant maker. So
yep.
Malefic incanta. I cannot say this. There's nothing that's going to help me say this properly.
Malefic incantation.
Perfect. You nailed it. This one's a go again. Enters the arena with 3 verse counters on it. So we have different counters here. I know we've seen verse counters before, but this looks like it's bringing it back. And then basically it's like a countdown, 3, 2, 1. Once per turn when you play an attack, remove a verse counter if you do create a rune chant. So it's just kind of like a build and go kind of a thing. So
yep.
Oldie but goodie. This is a repeat. This is a reprint, I believe, from Arcane Rising. Right?
Yes.
Yep. So meet and greet. Kind of a fun one. Oath the Arknight. Again, a reprint card.
And also a downshift.
And it does. Yep. It was a rare originally, I thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I got a bunch of those sitting somewhere. So this is the only issue with trying to keep up with all the old, like if I had a bunch of old inventory of certain rarity ones, because at a certain point, right, like they'll still play. I mean, it's no different, but kind of interesting to see at what point, they've reprinted almost all of the older set cards from like, let's call it the first Fab 1.0, right? At a certain point, I feel like all those are going to get regurgitated into some of these.
Oh, for sure.
We got a regrowth and shock, which is kind of a cool border because you have a kind of a very yin and yang here with, I like the fact that you got kind of 2 cool, bits. But shock, it looks like it's been on several cards, right? And also you have the, I guess, callback to, this is the first strike decks. You got the symbols behind them for what appears to be earth and lightning, the symbols behind them with meld here. This one is return and attack action with cost return an attack action card with costs less than X from your graveyard to your hand, where X is the total number of arcane damage you have dealt to opposing heroes with an S this turn. So probably a cool party trick in multiplayer.
Yep. It's also only available to be played in Briar, believe it or not.
That explains that.
So they printed a card for a living legend hero inside the set. That is the Briar card.
We got Rune Rager Swarm. Don't like these little critters, but they look like Tyranids, kind of.
Yeah, they do.
If you played or created an aura this turn, it gets go again. So obviously this is probably like the little fairies sucking on your brain goo.
Mm-hmm.
We got Sigil of Deadwood. This is there a multiple of this one? No, this is a single.
Nope.
So
most of the sigils are single.
Yep.
Choices.
Really cool piece of art. This looks like it's a tree that was growing, and there's a snake and a skull and some bones. Common again, go again. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When it leaves, create a rune chant token. So pretty cool there. Sigil of Arknight. This looks like it's inside of the Demonastery, possibly. Yep. From what I'm gathering, Sigil of Arknight here says go again at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. So it looks like every aura is beginning of your action phase. So
yeah.
Got to get really creative now to make sure you know when your action phase is so that you trigger these right. When it leaves the arena, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an action card, put it in your hand. So this is a possible extra 5th card in your hand if you set it up the turn before, right? Because you can play it and then your action phase becomes the next turn. Is that correct? Or would
yeah. So essentially, when this leaves the arena, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an attack action card, you put it in your hand. So if this ends up leaving the arena before your turn, then that's the case. But even still, you still get to draw at the beginning of your turn. So you get to draw at the beginning of your turn with Sigil of Arknight, which leaves you with 5 cards if you keep the whole thing.
Got it. Splintering Deadwood. 3, 7, 3. 3 to play, 7 to attack, 3 to defend. When this attacks or hits, you may destroy an aura you control if you do create a rune chant. So again, more rune chant stuff. Obviously,
Yep.
this dude getting flailed by something he's summoning and coming up from the ground through a rune chain.
It's
You
a
can see
scythe. That's
over
so cool.
over here, yeah, he's scything through the rune chant, and then it's coming
Mm-hmm.
through the rune chant through his back, like, I'm dead, bro. So, or he's
Yep.
maybe not
Like a
dead. He's
portal.
just taking a big L.
Take your nap.
All right, we got Thistle, Bloom, and Life. Again, I kind of like these really characterized, cool things. This will be really cool. It's a Majestic, so it sucked. But if I cut these out and make pendants of them, or like kind of like have tokens
Right.
that have this, I do want to see if I can do that. This one is Rune Blade Earth. This one is create X rune chance, where X is the life total you've gained this turn, gain a life. So it looks like if you choose this, you automatically at least will be able to create one rune chant. But in
Yeah.
some sort of combo world, this could probably go up pretty big. Vantage Point. Obviously, they're doing something demonic here. I don't know what the portal is, but there's somebody.
I don't know either.
Somebody's like, I'm having a bad day. So if you've played or created an aura this turn, this gets overpower. Obviously, it's a 7. So overpower pretty bad. It does cost 3, though, so you have to make sure you have that.
Yep.
Last one here, Vaporize and Shock again. Shock again. What's interesting is Shock keeps having different images, but it is the same core text, if I understand right.
Are they different images?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Go over back over to the.
So this shock is deal 1 damage to any target.
Uh-huh.
This shock is deal 1 arcane damage to any target.
I was like, they're the same, right? I'm not losing my mind.
Deal 1 arcane damage. It's just different art.
The art's different?
So see, that one looks different.
Maybe it's.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of like a.
No.
That's got a little bit more purple. I think it could just be an upload image thing. I'm not sure that it's exactly going to be a different art. Because it also would probably show if it would be a different artist, right?
Look at that. This one has like a blue. Here, you know what? The only way we can successfully do this is I will snap a. Where's my snapperooski? I used to have a button on here I could do this with, and I don't. Hold on. We're gonna do this live, folks.
Doing it live.
Boom, because we might have stumbled onto something fun here. Okay, so they're different colors. They're different colors. Look, it's purple. I don't know.
I think I just have to see the cards in person, because it'd be different if like where the lightning is coming out of was different, but it does show like different hues of color based on the shock.
I mean, the lines, I'm following the line. The lines are the same.
Right.
So maybe it's not.
I think it could just be a image upload that they have, but
all right.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but
here's a new rune chant. Brand new, never seen it, right? Just kidding.
Yeah.
When you play an attack action or activate a weapon, destroy this and deal 1 arcane damage to opposing hero. All right, so now that we've spewed a bunch of words at your face, what is your combos you're looking at?
All right, listen. So hear me out. The
cards
that
we haven't even touched the other, like we haven't touched Lightning or Earth cards yet,
and you don't even need them. Runeblade got a sick thing here with playing some of these cards in Commoner, believe it or not.
Okay.
Commoner, Runeblade was near impossible to play. Couldn't do it. Like literally garbage. Actually bad. Besides Chain, and Chain didn't care strictly about Runeblood or about Runeblade. He cared about like Shadow and all the go agains he gets with his shackles. But if you went ahead and you played Arcane Cussing red into Deadwood Dirge red into Hit the High Notes red, that is a whopping 2 resources between those 3 cards.
It's what into what?
So Arcane Cussing.
Okay. Which color?
Red. Right there. Okay. So it's got go again. You play it, you pitch blue or yellow. Pitch a blue. You play Arcane Cussing. When you deal or are dealt damage, destroy this. And when this leaves the arena during your turn, create 3 rune chant tokens. Then you play Deadwood Dirge. Red. Deadwood Dirge for 0 says destroy an aura you control. One of them being Arcane Cussing. It is an aura. If you do destroy it, you get 3 rune chants.
So that's 6.
So That's 6 rune chance off of those 2. Then if you play Hit the High Notes, which is in red, it should be just that one all to the left. There you go. So if you play to create an aura this turn, it gets +2. So for 1 resource, you get to come in for 6, and then also on top of it, 6 rune chance. That's 2 resources.
Damage for 12.
Yes. So 3 card 12, essentially. Well, no, it'd be 4 technically because you pitch. So if you find a way to get 2 free resources with your equipment, it's 3 card 12. If you don't, it's a 4 card 12 because you pitch. But even still, 4 card 12 split 6 arcane, 6 physical in commoner is insane to think about. Not to mention that you can utilize these same things.
Because it's all young hero in commoner, right?
Yes.
So that's over 50% of your life.
Yep. It's over 50% of your life. And then also to top it all off, you could forget this Hit the High Notes card. And you can just play Arcane Cussing into Deadwood Dirge, create those 6 rune chants, and then just play, if you're Vincent, you can play Phantom Banshee, the Rune Gate card, from your banish zone that you banished at the beginning of your turn or whatever. And then you can come in for 7 physical damage with 6 rune chants on the back in commoner. That is a simple, with 1 resource, you're able to go ahead and create a 13 power attack.
So is that considered too? I mean, obviously I can't say too good, right? Because you'll have 2 of each and a young hero, but that's 6 cards in your 40 card deck, right?
Yeah. I think it's really powerful, but again, I'm not sure where the take is with it. I think if I'm really excited for anything, while I think that combo is really, really powerful, I think I'm just more excited to know that Commoner Runeblade got actual support in this set, and that it wasn't just Commoner Briar or Commoner Lexi or Commoner Oldham that got things in this set. It was Runeblade actually got some really awesome stuff for Commoner. And now, like, you could play Vincent. You could play Vincent in Commoner, and you might even be better off playing Vincent in Commoner over somebody like Chain. But even still, you can destroy. Now what you can do with those same cards, Deadwood Dirge, you can destroy an aura, and Soul Shackles are auras. So you can destroy a Soul Shackle if you're playing Chain to get 3 rune chants and come in with even more damage on your turn. It's really cool. It's really cool. I'm just hyped about it. I'll stop gushing. We can continue on, and we can show the rest of the stuff.
So here's how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to show the card, but I'm going to have you read the wizard stuff, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's fine. So, okay, so we've got Acilio here. This is Acilio Constellar Intelligence, the adult version. They've got 36 life. Their young version is 18. And their ability seems pretty lackluster, which is just once per turn instant. You can discard an instant card and draw a card. But what this allows you to do is filter your deck and still get stuff to block with if you need, if you end up having an instant they can't block with. So pretty good stuff. Essence of Lightning. So you get to utilize those lightning cards, and they are a wizard. So fun instant shenanigans.
36 health. Like, that makes me think he's pretty powerful.
Well, wait till you see Verdance. So, because Verdance has 40 life, which is insane to me. I still think Verdance is the best wizard to come out of the set because she's got 40 life and her whole thing is healing. If you have, for adult version, if you have 8 or more earth cards in your banish zone, Verdance gets whenever you gain life at all during your turn, you may deal 1 arcane damage to any opposing target. So it can be to anything. You can deal 1 damage when you gain life. And we'll check out, we're eventually going to get to her specialization, but very, very powerful. And she gets to utilize all the earth cards, which are also very defensive, which means she's almost like a tank that gets to heal herself. But the thing with her is that most wizards have, just like Acilio has, less life than a normal starting total. But Verdance starts with 40 life.
There's got to be a drawback or a reason. I mean, there can't just be.
There is not. I have not seen a single thing outside of that. Maybe she doesn't have like the best cards, but it's so good. Hold Focus. This is one of the new cards that are coming out in the Blitz decks. as well as the main set, obviously, as a common equipment. This is just destroy this, amp 1, go again. So gives your next arcane spell this turn, deal that much damage +1. So if you deal arcane damage. So that also works with other amp effects as well. So you can stack amp effects, but this just affects the next time you would deal arcane damage. So
I mean, amped in general, or amp seems like it's kind of a haha, I got you an additional zing. You know, that's kind of
yeah, just a little bit of extra damage, just a little bit to get that going there. Incline cloaks. So destroy this, gain a resource, activate only if you control an aura permanent with sigil in its name. Most of the sigils are instants, and in most cases, especially as Cilio, you're going to have sigils out. So this is something for you there. Yeah, no, it's good. You're able to get a resource and you just need a sigil, which in most cases happens. Staff of Verdant shoots is Verdant's weapon. Pay 3, amp 1, go again. And then when one of our earth cards are pitched this way, so if you pitch a, 2 or maybe even just 1 earth card in this, next time you deal arcane damage this turn, you create embodiment of earth token. So
but it
very,
costs 3
very nice
to use it, correct? So it's a blue to use.
Yep, it's a blue or a yellow and a red if you happen, but usually you're going to want it to just be a earth blue. So like a blue autumn touch is like a great choice for this. But it's got go again. You get the amp 1, and then the next time you deal arcane damage this turn, you get embodiment of earth token, which means that this is essentially the amp only goes to your next arcane damage, but the embodiment of earth trigger happens for the rest of the turn so long as you have dealt arcane damage. So well, more specifically for the next time. So for instance, if they block out all of your amped spell and you get another wizard spell off afterwards and you deal arcane damage off of that, you'll still get the embodiment of earth token. So pretty good. And then Volzar, this card is crazy looking. The art is insane, and hopefully we're gonna learn a lot more about these ancients and stuff. But this is essentially free, like free 99 for Volzar. It is, if you control an aura permanent with sigil in its name, this costs 1 resource less to activate. And then once per turn instant, you can pay that a resource to amp X, where X is the number of lightning cards you've played this turn. So essentially, if you have played a sigil, this is free no matter what. But this card tells me that Cilio does exactly what everybody wants it to do, which is Storm. If you've ever played Storm in Magic the Gathering, this is essentially the concept where you're going to pump a whole bunch of lightning cards, and then you're going to amp up a really, really big spell that's going to come out of a Cilio. This is a Cilio's weapon, and you're usually going to have a sigil. Most of the lightning sigils are instant speed anyway, so you can just play it and immediately get a free 1 amp onto your next spell. But we haven't seen enough from him yet to really make a decision, but it's a pretty good weapon. I like it a lot.
Reprint.
Yep. Aether Quickening got a reprint, but a downshift to commoner, like I had said earlier. So you are able to play this commoner now. Very good card, honestly, for Surge. I like it a lot. But, it's a reprint. So if you like it, you like it. Arcane Twinning, this is a new card. So again,
cool.
This...
Yeah, the art. No, what is the thing? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think that is I don't actually know that there's a whole bunch of different animals in Aria, and I can't remember because my first glance is like, oh, it could be a meep, but I don't think it's a meep. It's something else, but there's a whole bunch of Aria creatures and stuff that I don't have at the top of my mind. But Arcane Twinning, really cool. This is that zap thing I was talking about. So you see how this says 0, deal 3 arcane damage to any target.
Yeah.
That is zap, right? If you look at the card zap, it's quite literally that exact same thing, except these ones have effects. Where this one says instant, discard this, amp 1. So you can discard this at any time to amp 1 on your next arcane damage spell. So pretty cool to be able to pump it, but it's, that's only if your opponent's going to block out a huge amount.
Now, you can only read this next card if you have deciphered whatever all of this arcane text is.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm still not sure what exactly the plan is with this card. It seems way more like it seems way more demonastery than I would have imagined from this. But Chorus of the Amphitheater, cost 2, comes in for 4 arcane damage to any target. And then at instant speed, you can discard this if an action or an instant card you control would deal arcane damage this turn. Instead, it deals that much +1. So that is kind of like Amp, but not really. Because if it's an action or an instant that would deal arcane damage this turn, instead it deals that much +1. It essentially just bumps up the arcane damage specifically, but it's effective to different actions or instants. So
We got a
this card's
shock.
sick. I love this card. This is
It's
Comet Storm
Stone Rain.
Shock.
That's Stone
Yeah.
Rain. 100%.
Yeah, honestly, it's so good. And this is so powerful, I think, personally. But the thing is that it's a meld card, so you can choose one, the other, or both. If you want to choose either side, it just costs you 2. But if you want to cast both of these, it'll cost you 4 resources. 4 resources for 6 arcane sounds awful. So in most cases, you're probably going to be pitching 2 to play Comet Storm side, which is deal 5 arcane damage to any target. But that's at action speed. Whereas if you need to deal instant speed damage, you do have the opportunity to play Shock. But playing Shock for 2 sucks. So if there's a way...
So is this an instant where Shock costs more now on this than it does for the others?
Yes.
So it's...
Yes.
That's
yes.
kind of an interesting call out then to think about, that Shock is now a variable spin depending on its mode.
Yes, exactly. Because really the cost of this card is based around the fact that Comet Storm deals 5 arcane, but you can pay 2 more to have it deal 1 arcane to any target on top of it. The thing here is that this is definitely like a Storm Striders-esque card, because you can Storm Striders this and then get both of these to be instants, right? Which is fine. But still, in some cases, you're just going to be doing that so you can play the Comet Storm in instant. Ashes of Arcana, 0, 3 block, deal 3 arcane damage to target hero. It's only specifically to heroes. But its surge ability is if it deals more than 3, you can return an aura with sigil in its name from your graveyard to your hand. So a little bit of recursion there.
Seems good.
And it's nice if you're trying to get like embodiment of lightning tokens or embodiment of earth tokens or however it might be. So great way to...
It's a zap plus something.
Yeah, it's a zap plus. If it deals 1 extra damage, it gets to do something else. So
this looks sweet.
Yep. Art on here, super sick. Don't know who this is. You better be in the lore soon. But it's just Amp 3, go again. Pay 2, Amp 3, go again. Blocks 2. So I don't know how great of a card that is, but it's a card, all right. So, and it comes in 3 colors. So get at least all of those. It's just amp per whatever color. Glyph overlay. Is that pirate ship in the background there?
This is the DM Armada card.
Yep. We got that little pirate ship back there. Bunch of runes in the water. This is a very interesting card. I thought this was probably one of the most...
Something. Like, I swear there's a hidden message.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I'm sure there's the...
It's like,
and that's for
DM
us to
Armada,
decipher.
Pirates are coming in the next set.
Right.
Buy your extended art legendaries now, or whatever.
Right. Get all the things you can. It's a very interesting card here because it blocks 3. It's a 1 cost. But it says deal X plus 3 arcane damage to target hero, almost zap, where X is the number of aura permanents you control with sigil in their name. So you play a whole bunch of sigils, or you have a whole bunch of sigils on your turn. This gets X plus 3. So let's just assume normally in most cases it might be like 2. So it'll come in a 1 for 5. Pretty good. But if it deals more than 3 damage at all, so if it deals 4 or 5 arcane damage, you gain 1 life, and then you shuffle all the aura permanents you control with sigil in their name into your deck. So if you have a bunch of lightning instant sigils, you can play them all out, get like 4 sigils, pitch to Glyph, play Glyph, and then it'll deal 7 arcane damage. And if it deals any more than 3, you get to put all those back into your deck. And the sigils have that ability of when they leave the arena, you get their effects. So you'll get every effect of every sigil card that you put back into your deck, and then also still recur all of those like nothing ever happened.
But wouldn't you also then lose your ability to know what pitch stack is coming then at that point? That's the sacrifice you're making.
I mean, yeah, probably, but I think the purpose of both of these wizards is not so much the pitch stack anymore. I think Kano really cares about the pitch stack. I think these wizards care a lot more just about like efficiency of their arcane damage. So I could be wrong, but I don't see much combo happening in regards to that. Okay. Heartbeat of Candlehold, Verdant Specialization. This card is, I personally think, insane. I think it's an insane card. Again, Verdant Specialization, so it can only be played in Verdants, and Verdant's ability says that if they have however many Earth cards they need in their Banish Zone, that they can gain, whenever they gain life, they deal 1 arcane damage to a target. So Heartbeat of Candlehold, you can pay 1 and gain 3 instances of life. And because they're all different instances, and this doesn't just say gain 3, it gains 1, gain 1, gain 1. That means that you gain 3 life, deal 3 arcane damage to separate targets. And then it also blocks for 3 and pitches for blue. And it has go again. So this is a lot going on for just 1 card. 3 damage doesn't seem like a whole ton, but 3 damage that you can split amongst ally heroes, pretty good. It's also just good to gain 3 life. So very nice. Null Shock, Wizard instant, Lightning instant, so only Acilio is going to be able to play this one. It costs 1, so if you want to play both sides, it'll cost you 2. This is pretty cool because this is another negate card. We do have negates that exist within Flesh and Blood, but this card specifically is very cool because the null side says if target instant card has cost less than the total arcane damage you've dealt to opposing heroes this turn, negate it. So this is really cool because this is a card you can use to quite literally negate things like Art of War.
Just say
you can just you can just say stop that and don't do this. So we're officially in counterspell territory here, which is very, very cool to see because that's what I expected out of a wizard is some kind of counterspell shenanigans. And while they exist, we haven't seen a whole lot of play with them yet. And then of course the other side is just shock. So this shock only costs 1 as opposed to the other shock which costs 2, but that's a little bit more on rate, I guess. Overflow of the Aetherwell, 0 cost, 3 block, zap. And then Surge if it
Airbender.
Exactly. But the cool thing is though is that if it does deal more than 3 damage, so if you do end up amping it and it's able to deal 4, then you get a free E-Pot off of this, which is pretty cool for the sake of it all, but it doesn't have go again or anything, so you don't really get a whole lot off of it. But Perennial Aether Bloom, 0 cost, 3 block. We love to see it. Again, zap. As we see, this is just how this works. And it's Surge. If it deals more than 3 damage, you put it on the bottom of its owner's deck. So just some more recursion. This is essentially just like Underloop, but for wizards. Photon Splicing, 1 cost, 3 block. Deal 4 arcane damage to any target. A little bit better than Zap, but obviously still that's Aether Quickening rate. And then at instant speed, you can discard it to amp. So
Pop the bobble.
Good.
Pop the bobble. Just kidding.
Now, see, again, here you go. You're not going to believe this. Again, we have a zap. This is like another 3 block that deals 3 arcane damage, but if it's surged, it deals more than 3 damage to a hero. They destroy it or a permanent they control. So, theoretically, this is another way for you to destroy those pesky Spectra auras or any of the crazy big auras that exist that are coming out here, but it's a zap, so not anything crazy.
So I wrote down 2 things I want to come back and talk about because I was trying not to interrupt you, but I have 2 items that I want to go after you're finished with these.
Yeah, sounds good. So Pulsing Aether, this is another 1 cost meld card, so you can play either one of these for 1 or just both of these for 2. This one, way more on rate because you can essentially deal 4 arcane damage to any target and then gain a life. So for Verdance, this is deal 5 arcane damage for 2. And also gain a life. So deal 5 arcane, gain a life if you have that requirement met. It also blocks for 3. This is just a good card, and it's a rare. We love to see it. So there's that one. That's moving on to a lot of these sigils. Yeah. Yep, sigils are going to be big here. So this is a yellow Sigil of Brilliance. It's cost 0. It's an Acilio specialization. Beginning of your action phase, destroy this, and when it leaves the arena, you draw a card. There are ways for you to make this happen. It's also an instant aura. So you can play this just right off the rip to activate any of Volzar or any other sigil. Like if you need to have a sigil, it's a good thing to have there. So very good card. Sigil of Forethought. When this leaves the arena, create a ponder token. So again, this is another kind of if you're able to shuffle them back into your deck or remove these from the arena on your turn or on your opponent's turn, theoretically, you get to you can make that happen. But obviously, if it ends up just sticking around, eventually it gets destroyed. So you do get that ponder token. Sigil is temporal manipulation. When this one leaves the arena, you can banish the top card of your deck. If it's a non-attack action, you can play it as though it were an instant. So if you did pitch deck well enough, or you're able to put start cards on top of your deck, then you can utilize that as a way to deal more damage. But little baby.
Little cat, little's probably not. He's a 25-pound or about 20-pound cat.
20 pounds?
He's huge. Here, hold on. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, no, show off the cat. Forget these spoilers.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna claw my shoulder and it's gonna hurt like a mother. Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy, you're chonker.
Look
over
there.
What a big. Oh, goodness.
I think technically
it's just like a fluffier version of one of my old cats, Honey. Oh, goodness.
I think he's a Maine Coon technically. Hi. Hello. You want the cookies, don't you? Is that what you want? You don't get the cookies. Sorry, I am putting you down.
You don't get cookies.
Oh gosh, yeah, he's the bigger. Oh, can I?
What? There we go. Oh. Over there. Ah.
I'm gonna leave it like that.
If you're sick, let me know in the comments down below.
One more. I'm gonna try one more time.
Where was that?
Oh, I nailed it.
There we go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, so we're back on Sigil. We already talked about this.
Yep, Sigil temporal manipulation. We got through this one already. Cool. We'll move on to the next one there. I think the last little bit here is the Trailblazing Aether, which is just, guess what? You're not going to believe it. It's a zap, baby. Let's go. Another surge zap. So
this is my two questions. Macros and lack of arcane barrier. How does that play into this set, and why do we feel maybe that's a good or a bad decision, given that as an old mech player, right, I always knew when I had to go against somebody I had to have arcane barrier, but now it looks like I think it'd be referred to as, again, ward, I think is the new...
They don't even have Warden here.
Oh, it's not?
They just have... The good thing is, a lot of the stuff they've shown off has just been prevent damage, right? So, like, it doesn't choose which damage it prevents, but it just says it will prevent damage. These are really good, but unfortunately, past a learning perspective of the game, most people are not going to be utilizing those cards ever.
Okay.
And that's just because you have cards like Arcane Barrier. There, if you've seen, for those of you who are watching, or even yourself, they came out with the Blitz deck battles on the Flesh and Blood YouTube channel, where they have all the Blitz decks that go against one another.
There's
and the amount of times, oh, there you go. So the amount of times in which people have lost in these games due to arcane damage is extremely unfortunate for them, but also it is because they are playing in a limited format that does not have arcane barrier. Most people you are playing against, unless they are an aggro deck, are probably going to be playing arcane barrier, and it is just the way better, more recursive way to block out arcane damage than by prevention effects. And it's rough because the same deal they utilize, and this is obviously no front on, LSS, but because Blitz pre-constructed is a limited format. In the Blitz decks, you do get Sanctuary of Aria, which is a macro. That is the one macro card to come in the set. And they start every game with Sanctuary of Aria on the battlefield, because that's what it's supposed to do in a limited format, is you always start with a Sanctuary of Aria on the battlefield, and it's essentially a way for you to go, oh crap, they're coming in with arcane damage, I need to prevent. That's a way I can do it, but only once.
Sure.
Whereas in most cases, you would not. So like if you're playing in Classic Constructed or Blitz or Clash, Commoner, you do not, or even UPF, you do not start with a Sanctuary of Aria out on the battlefield, because for one, you're probably not going to ever run that card, and for two, it's not a limited format. So Sanctuary of Aria as a macro is really only for the limited formats like Blitz Pre-Constructed, Draft, and Sealed, and so on and so forth. But again, in most cases where you'd be like, oh man, I really need to be able to prevent more arcane damage, that's where you run things like Arcane Barrier, because you can just pitch to your Arcane Barrier to prevent as much arcane damage as you want, and your opponent loses a card, whereas you get cards put back into your deck.
Yeah.
Both of these wizards don't really do a whole lot of stuff. Like Kano likes to play on your turn. Both of these wizards don't seem to really want to do that outside of setting up their turn for stuff to blow up so that they have a slightly stronger turn on their own board. Because that's just like, I'm pretty sure Verdant's ability is only on her turn. While as Acilio's ability is at instant speed, you can do it whenever. But Acilio's ability doesn't deal damage to anybody. You just discard things. So
let's blow through real quick some of these Earth and Lightning cards. So this helmet here, it looks like this is decent early game, but then late game, obviously, as you build up, it gets an additional, defense.
Yep.
So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Grounded, prevention again.
Yep, more prevention damage.
Autumn's Touch, reprint, Tales of Aria.
Yep.
Blossoming Decay, really cool artwork here. I'm trying to understand exactly what it is. I think it's like a middle of a tree with like some flowers, and there's like a skull of some sort, I think.
Yeah.
Has Decompose, a new keyword, looks like.
Yep. Yeah, I like Decompose. It's good. That's how you're going to get all your Earth cards into your Banish Zone for Verdance and for Florian. So.
Or is one of the Elders you were talking about? Yeah. Another Tilling again. Very much. It screams Necromancer, so maybe we're not getting a Necromancer.
It's Mark Poole art. This is really, really, really pretty. I love this art a lot. So
I definitely want some of these in foil and maybe a playmat. That's pretty sweet.
Right.
More Decompose.
Yeah, that'll be good.
This is a interesting extended art, Majestic.
Channel Millennium Tree. It's good amps. Good amps, but
a lot of words on a single card.
It's essentially the only thing that it is if you just take what Channel Mount Heroic does, but instead replace your attack actions get +3. Instead says your arcane spells get +3.
Also, pretty much Tree Ints. I think maybe another option for the deck that might come out next is Olin. This guy, if it is.
Oldham even has that. That's the text at the bottom there is an Oldham quote.
But it's
that's pretty cool.
Olin. It says the mighty Olin. So maybe his name is Olin, and maybe we get him as something. So who knows?
Right.
Looks a giant beast.
I think the Olin are probably the treant creatures.
Probably.
If I recall correctly.
Felling of the Crown. Lots of stuff with Decompose. It looks like Earth is primarily Decompose, basically.
Yep. Big Decompose stuff there.
This is a pretty sweet card. There's also some nods to the original Tales of Aria stuff in here.
Yep. I love that card.
Dogs are confirmed.
Dogs confirmed. Dogs exist.
Animal.
Yep. I think it's a meep. Maybe it's meep.
Fruits of the Forest. Harvest season. Dancing around, gaining some life.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. This cosplay would be pretty unhinged.
Yeah, right. I think it's a really, really cool thing. This card is definitely one of my favorite Earth cards because it's a
reaction too.
It's a sink below pretty much because you not only get the decompose from for like Earth heroes, so whether it be for Verdance or for Florian, but you also get +1 on it, so it's a 0 for 4 D-react that also allows you to get closer to your total amount of Earth cards in your Banish Zone. Pretty good.
Seeds of Tomorrow.
This card's really good. I personally think. Yep. Earth instant, prevent the next 5 damage that would be dealt to you this turn, and all it costs is just you putting a card in the arsenal at the bottom of the deck. Prevent 5. That's really good.
Cool looking sigil.
Sigil of Sanctuary. Yep. We like these sigils.
This is another ability that is kind of a newer thing, it sounds like.
This is spell void.
Yep.
But this is what do you call it? This is ward, but only specifically for arcane damage. So yeah. This card's pretty good. I like this. Just kind of just buff up your next attack. So it's good for commoner. I'm not sure if it's super great.
This is pretty cool.
Another decompose.
Yeah, artwork on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of critters. And a flag bearer of some sort for maybe like a... Alright, moving on to lightning.
Yeah. Flash of Brilliance. It's pretty good. When this defends, you may discard a lightning card. If you do create an aura, return an aura you control to its owner's hand. So again, that leaves that battlefield ability, and you get to have it back at your hand too. So that's pretty good.
Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle Toes. What a silly name for this.
Yeah.
This is just prevent 2, but only if you played it instant.
This card is unhinged as well. This is like...
I like the art for this. Just like completely obliterating this individual. I like it a lot. 0 for 4.
Explode.
The and then what? The next time you play
to exist.
Yep. Yeah. So if you essentially bounce a spectral shield, then it just gets destroyed. So it's a good way to destroy any kind of thing there. Channel Lightning Valley. This is going to be really fun. First time you deal damage to an opposing hero, each turn draw a card. So you can utilize that in. I'd imagine Aurora is going to want that a lot more than anybody. Electrostatic Discharge an instant. Next attack action card you play this turn would cost 1 or less, gets +3 or +2 or +1, depending on what you got there.
Welcome back.
Back for the cookies.
This
Flash. It's a reprint.
Thought is a reprint.
Yep, it's a reprint.
Just don't remember from where.
It's from Aria.
Oh.
Yep.
This is another interesting.
Yeah, Flittering Charge, 0 for 4. But if you played an instant, this Chain Link, it gets go again. Now remember, Chain Link. So you have to play that card and then play an instant in order for it to activate its go again.
I want to highlight this card, Fry. The utter simplisticness, the simplisticness.
Simplicity?
Just simplicity of go again. Just a 0 for 3, go again. Just
that's it.
Beautiful. It's just No,
I mean,
question.
it's the thing is though, it's a head jab that doesn't block. It's got a 0 block, which is insane to me.
And then this is a reprint, right?
Yep, Heaven's Claws is a reprint there, also from Aria.
Lightning Form.
The new card, Lightning Form. When it hits, create an embodiment of lightning token. A 1 for 5. That's on rate.
And it's a rare.
Yep.
Lightning Surge. Doing
another reprint.
Some aerobatic type stuff, some Avatar Last Airbender kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a good reprint to have in the set too. So
Second Strike. Now is it different artwork or the same?
No, it's the same.
Okay.
Yep.
I haven't stared at some of these cards in a while just because I searched for some of them.
I have them all bore in my memory. I was just sorting them like not even that long ago.
This one's pretty sweet too.
I like this card a lot.
I could pull off the old grandpa vibes with the hair and the beard.
Right?
Like, that's something I could pull off at least.
There you go. Just got to get some tattered cloaks and a staff. But pretty good card for his attacks. If you dealt damage this turn, it gets +1 to go again. So even if you just dealt with like 1 rune chant, if they just like didn't block out 1 rune chant, that's 0 for 4 go again. So pretty good. Digital Connectivity. This is another Arcane Shelter, but for lightning, you'd make an embodiment of lightning token. Sigil Lightning, beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When it leaves the arena, create an embodiment of lightning token. So more 0 cost lightning and sigils. Trip the Light, fantastic. This is a 1 cost 5 that says that you can play it instant. You can actually discard this to prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to you this turn.
I wonder if this hero's who we'll see. If this would be the mystery new person. Because this person looks like they've been in several pieces of artwork.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look. Also, I think if I recall correctly, according to Nathan on the Clash Committee, this is a nod to Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, somebody said that this is a. I think even Logan at Flesh and Plot had something about this particular card means something specific to the title. So
doesn't mean anything to me though. So.
And I think that is everything that is currently out.
That's
So,
it. That is everything that is currently out for Rosetta. But there's still, gosh, how many more? 6.
I mean, there's at least 6 plus 20, so 30, easily 40 additional cards.
Yep.
And we don't know all the marvels. Now, obviously, in this case, you got a lot of the heroes, right? But if there's 24 marvels, then maybe that means that there's a series of Majestics that are something that will be part of a Marvel set.
I am gonna put my money down, as I'm sure everybody else will. I think the
Split
sigils
cards?
are going to be. I think the sigils are going to be Marvels.
Really?
Yeah. I think the sigils. There are 1, 2, 3,
There are
4, 5,
10 right
6,
now.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 there plus the what 9 Marvels that we know about now, which is that, and then that leaves 4 specializations that could be Marvels, and then a special secret Marvel somewhere. Right? So 10 sigils makes it 19 Marvels, and then
5 additional something.
5 additional Marvels, probably 4 of them being each hero's specialization. Because there's one specialization for each hero inside the set.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And then if anything, that one extra one might be, they might even pull a gold pack thing on us like they did last time, because technically Marvel Enigma New Moon is part of the set for part of the Misveil. So
got it.
Kind of the same deal, but that's my assumption. Obviously, we'll know more as probably next week. We'll definitely know more. So we'll have all that happen. That'll be good.
So there's tons of lore that I'll kind of omit at this moment, but it sounds like there's a bunch of tutorials talking over the decks. This is all, I don't know if you've done content on this, but this sounds like this is just video after video of things that you can make. And then I still really enjoy this artwork here. Like, I just can't get it. Like, I want to know what this guy is. Like this one here.
What's with your staff, guy?
Shoes, bro. And then the accordion is pretty sweet.
But, no, that's great stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff. They just, like I said, they just recently came out with all of these new videos that right there for the Blitz battle. So you can watch every hero go into every hero. Yeah, so much. I mean, all that stuff is all out and spoiled. So you'll know what you'll be getting when you're going into that. And then
nice.
Kind of go from there. So it's a really good time. So I definitely suggest checking those out, finding out what the heroes kind of play like. Yeah, and then just kind of going from there. So,
well, I don't have. I mean, obviously we could chat about all sorts of stuff, but that was my big takeaway for today. Was that specifically?
Yeah.
Other than that, I believe I know that it's going to kind of go. I mean, it might seem weird. It's going to be out of order if I do it this way. I'm going to release this video. Probably on the holiday, Monday the 2nd. So,
gotcha.
Labor Day? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be Labor Day.
And the reason I want to get that before is because this would be right before the world premiere. So any of our speculations and interesting stuff would be out in the public eye so that I can point back and be like, we might have been right.
Right.
And then what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to omit for that week, or for next week, I'll probably do the D&D one. Or I could honestly release both within the same week. It really makes no difference to me. But I think either way, this is going to come out next week because I need it to come out before the actual release for this to really hit home. So...
Yeah, it works out. I mean, I figured just going over the spoilers and talking about Rosetta, that was pretty much the concept for this one. I'm super excited. As you can tell, I have been wanting for an opportunity to play Runeblade in Commoner that wasn't Chain, although to be fair, I haven't really played a whole lot of Chain, and I'm sure I'd love him. But now knowing that like Vincent, Viserai, and then 2 other new Runeblades that come in, I think Florian's probably my new favorite hero, if I were to guess. But Dromai still holds a close place in my heart, but Florian is very, very thematic. I feel like a lot of the cards that he got in the set are very good. So I'm excited to try him out.
let's wrap this out with something I haven't really talked about recently. I've been wanting to dive into the Living Legend leaderboard, and I haven't lately. So
Mm-hmm.
my favorite hero, Hail be the Dash, the inventor of the extraordinaire, is only at 910 still technically. So holding on by a
Mm-hmm.
skin of the teeth, and looks like that's as of August 27th, so 2 days ago. Still barely legal, but 90 points away. So I don't think there's much left for her in this world. Maybe coming out this season, but maybe can eke out. Next closest is Phi, and then Bravo. I do have a spreadsheet that I updated right before. I don't think I actually ever. Maybe I did the video and never released it. I don't. Gosh, man, there was like a month of my life I kind of just like lost when I was like dealing with just kind of figuring out. I kind of fell into a hole for a little bit.
Right.
And I think I recorded something where I started going back through and doing the statistics on trying to get all that together. But I don't know whatever happened to that video. I don't think I ever posted it. But you know, a lot of these heroes here, you know, especially when we look at there's 27 current, you know, heroes, we'd be adding 4 new ones, so 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and then
Mm-hmm.
if one goes away, you're now down to 30 heroes. That seems pretty reasonable to pick with. And then it looks like, you know, Zen has gotten 590 already halfway, and it's in first season here,
Yeah.
right? So if Zen continues the trajectory, can Zen actually go out in this entire first season?
I don't think so. I mean, I certainly do, but I guess that's all depending because we had seen posts from Brian Gottlieb on Twitter that said that they realize that Zen is a problem. They know Zen is a problem. They've seen everybody talk about that Zen is a problem, and they're working on something for that. But they don't want to make like, you know, abrupt bans that had no thought behind them. So I'm assuming they're trying to figure that out and go from there. But I think overall, I think he's got the capability of making it up there because he's just so incredibly consistent in what he can do.
Well, the
But
only
if
way
a
you're going to
ban
get Living
hits,
Legend points is people have to play that hero. And if he's
exactly,
basically the boogeyman, everyone's going to play the boogeyman, and I don't have to worry as much about people playing Dash because nobody's going to want to play Dash if the boogeyman's going to be better. Like,
very true, very, very,
if you're
very true.
playing for the pro and you're playing for the gold and the prize, you're not going to play. You know, sorry Betsy, you're not playing Betsy to go in to
Right.
win. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but it does, and I've not really gotten to experience much of the you know, the Zen, you know, supposedly mouthful of marbles, you know, here's 500 damage or whatever crazy number that they throw at you, right? Like I haven't gotten to experience the okay, I scoop, let's play again. Like I haven't had to deal with that just yet. But it
Right.
sounds like it's bad news.
Yeah, it's definitely oppressive and it feels bad for sure. I've kind of been out of the CC meta for a while. Just because I'm doing so much stuff with Clash and Commoner and Brawl now and a whole bunch of stuff. Um, but I do think that we've seen not only from Classic Constructed, but even this month's skirmish results so far. Skirmish has been insane for Zen. I think he got 33 wins in skirmish season in his first week, and that was only in Blitz. Living Legend, I think he got like 16 or something, and he's really just dominant in every meta. Um,
Well,
but
Zen's got 205 in Blitz.
no,
Victor got 135. Just looking at the top contenders, and it looks like right after that is Briar and Dash. Now Briar and Dash get another. I mean, Briar's at 478, Dash is at 479. So they only need respectively 22 to, so what, 30 points for those, and that
yeah,
is the equivalent of basically if they win,
it's
what is it?
six skirmishes.
6 skirmishes. Yeah. So if they win 6 skirmishes apiece between now and when it does, both of those go high in the sky.
Yep.
Um, which is kind of interesting because, you know, now that they're doing the weekly checks, right, you're not really going to see these big, like the ones that had like 589, like Ira, or
Right.
567, or even hell Starvo with 1500, right? You're not going to see any of those anymore. Like, because that he ate up, you know, basically, if you think about it, anything over 1,000 is probably was never originally intended to go to any other, you know, or one specific hero. So there's 582 points that should have gone to other heroes. 182 should have gone to other heroes. 100 should have gone to other heroes, and then 1,200. So when you start
Right.
adding this up, there's the equivalent of another hero's worth of living legend points that should already have technically living legend out at this stage in the adult section. And then similar with the young, right? You got 100, 200, 300, 350. It's not as bad in the young, but you probably would have at minimum at least one other hero, or if they're spread out, right, two or three
Right.
heroes like Bravo, Phi, and Dash would all be gone if you added 1,000 in, or technically, like if you take the top four, that's about 1,000 points. So,
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I like that the fact that they changed it to be a weekly thing, because you do see those points go to, the heroes that would end up deserving them. And it's the only unfortunate part about that is that if somebody spent all their money trying to build Briar for some reason, and then Briar LLs, you can't play Briar in the next week's skirmish if you happen to be going to another one. You need to play a different hero. But the odds of that happening without if you're playing competitively, you probably know about the Living Legend system.
I
So
I
there's
think the
there's no
saddest thing
real
to
change.
me is I'm never gonna have my name on the role legend for Dash because I would never I don't think I'd ever win a skirmish or even a road to nationals. So that's kind of one of those things where it's like, after my hero does, fly off into the sunset, it's like, oh man, I probably should have got more hardcore about trying to get my name on that roll call
If
piece, I
that's
guess.
Yeah, if that's something that you want out of, like, if that is a goal of yours that you absolutely want to get, like, by all means, right? Bring a freaking blitz deck to a skirmish near you within these next couple of weeks. Like, you should be able to still go ahead and do that, right? But even if you can't, you still have Dash IO. There's still Max.
Oh,
There's
sure, sure,
still
sure.
Teklavosin, right?
I guess my joke was is that for me of playing basically that hero since Arcane Rising, like I really haven't dove too deep into other heroes. It's
Right.
funny to me that I'm like, oh, in the 11th hour, I should spend more time trying to see if I can get my name
You
on
know,
the.
and that's on FOMO, that's FOMO entirely. But if you can't dedicate yourself to becoming some kind of champion at that, then there's better things in the world than having your name on a roll of honor for a hero. Sure, it's cool. Do I wish I would have had my name on a roll of honor for Tromai? Of course I do. But I know that I can, if I'm really dedicated to doing that next time around, when Dromai gets revisioned and however her future self is, I know that I'll go, okay, cool. We'll buckle down. We'll pivot our chances here, and we'll just
So
grind
what is
till
the
it
bet?
happens.
You said a skirmish, so that'd be you said blitz. I thought skirmish was always CC.
No, skirmishes are blitz only, except for this time around, they've been blitz and living
Living
legend
legend.
format.
Okay.
So, but they've always been blitz. It's the only event outside of like battle hardens. Oh, and by that I mean only some battle hardens that are blitz events at all. So, for instance, Zen got his first points on the Living Legend board for blitz at a battle hardened and won. And then after that, we've had the 33 wins from Zen for the skirmish season for the people who have had blitz events.
All right. So
So
who's getting the first points on the board? Are we going to go for Melody Sing Along or Janice What You Need? Which one do we think we can get on the Living Legend board?
no, Melody's getting points way before Genus, and I
Genus
mean
needs
that
another
that
weapon.
whole Genus needs another weapon. Genus needs a kit. They need to come out with a whole set that's strictly about merchants. They need to make a a mastery pack, but for merchants.
Merchants.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
That's how they'll do it.
That'd be
But
sweet.
but Melody's got a whole blitz deck dedicated to her. I think she can make that happen. Actually, has it not happened already? I guess it hasn't, right?
Melody supposedly has nothing. Neither does Max
Okay.
or Kasai, Betsy, or Aurora, which I guess Aurora being now a first strike deck technically would be legal there.
Yep.
Terra already obviously did something, so
Yep. Tara's already won. It's good. It'll be good. I'm excited to see how these heroes shake up stuff, but
Professor
again, I think
Boston has
it'll be
something
good.
on there at 4.
Yep.
And same with Cavdane only has 1. That guy's
Mhm.
whoever that is a legend.
Right. The one guy to get points on the board for
It's
a
a
Cavdine.
single point, so that must have been really early on.
Yeah, back when they were only doing 1 point per skirmish, probably. Yep, fun stuff. But Living Legend's really cool. I definitely wish that, Roll of Honor is something that you gotta earn, right? You gotta work hard
It's an
to get that
earn.
going.
It's
So
definitely an earn.
if that's something you want, definitely I suggest going for it. But that means that you are quite literally going to be going to every armory within your general 20-mile radius every other day, and or playing Talishar until your eyes bleed, and then going to an event and being so incredibly prepared into the meta. But
Hey, so I went to content creators on Fabre, and there's a bunch of new ones that are in here, especially some that are in Japanese that I can have to translate here. So that's kind of neat.
nice. Nice.
There's some.
I often forget that that's a thing that we can look at is
Yeah, I scroll
the
through every
content.
once in a blue moon. You were on the second to top one because it randomizes them. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Hey, look, I still exist in here. Sweet. Dead Summer Art.
I'm surprised they're randomized.
I think if I recall, yeah. See, I didn't log into February because this is a private browser, but I have the. I guess I backed it to be able to do the, you know, Patreon or whatever, which is why I got the ability to change my logo. So that's how you know if somebody, I guess, has backed it. Like it looks like you must have backed it because your logo's there. Same with the other
Yep.
folks. So I think most of the content creators are at least doing some level of backing on it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's the other thing too, is that like if when you're backing on here, you also get to utilize the cool content submission thing, which allows you to put your video on the front page, which is really
That's
nice.
actually why I backed it. I need to probably get better at putting some stuff out there. Like I probably should put these out. I haven't really done that too much. So
Yeah, no worries. That's why it's there for, you'd be able to go ahead and just bring it out to the world. But
you're using it a lot. It looks like, and then
I sure am. Sure am. I haven't this week though. This week I haven't done any content. I've been so stuck in spoiler season. I haven't touched making anything, and I need to do that tomorrow or Saturday. So I got to work on that. Yeah. So
well, that's all I got. You know, the other fun thing is card distribution right now that things have kind of shook up. Right, you can kind of view by hero and view by class. So Starvo has 427 available cards, followed closely by looks like Briar, maybe Bolton and Oldham. But if you look at the class specific, Runeblade now has eked above everybody at over 450 something. Probably the second closest is Guardian, and then really the third is Wizard, and then right below that threshold is Mechanologist, with most of it being class cards and just a boatload of equipment.
yeah, lots of good stuff released recently
Hell,
for this.
Adjudicator has, well, because I guess it has access to light. So Adjudicator has
Yeah.
close to 100, and Bard only has some very sad number of cards.
You got one deck. That's it.
I do need to probably, before those get stupid hard to get a hold of, I need to probably grab some of the Melody specific or Yorick specific stuff because I hope
Yeah, you should get the rainbow foils.
Well, I hope they get one day reprinted, but man, it's there's. If I go to cards, is it CBARD card bard crowd control?
Card bard.
Yeah, so that's the TCG one. So what's the? Is there's 23 total cards. Yeah, so there's a York Specialization Weaver of Tales. I need to pick that card up. I haven't picked that one up. But there's a bunch of these that came in promos. I still don't know where to get the dang promos because even around here I haven't been able to get anybody that I'm aware of to really kick off one of those venues. So I need to see if maybe I can find somebody who has a lot of these, like the Fiddly D and stuff, so that I can get. I think I have the Hummingbird is the one I have, but like, there's just so many promos of various ones I probably need to pick up before they. Because it's that has the,
I'd pick them up before. Yeah, before they end up becoming an actual like class that ends up being in a set. I definitely suggest picking up anything that you possibly can because, then you can at least know that you'll have it before the hype kicks in. But I don't think anybody's hyped on Bard right now, outside of a few people. So,
that's cool.
But
Like,
that'll be a good thing to pick up if you can. So
like DNS blocks the redirect from buy it now off the tcgplayer.io. So good to know. Can't even do that because I locked down my internets. Great. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna say that's a good wrap. I'm happy with that. So,
yeah.
Any final comments, thoughts, words, or whatever? Last minute predictions before the crazy reveal world of whatever might happen.
I'm gonna say that the Fable this time around is not gonna be a landmark. It's gonna be a gem, and it's going to be. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. No, I bet it's going to be that seed that they get in the
artwork.
In the in that artwork or whatever, the Rosetta artwork. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. But outside of that, if any of you guys are budget gamers like ourselves, I definitely suggest that when you are going to things like pre-releases, which I do suggest going to because they're very, very good for new players or just people who are looking to get good cards. Go to a pre-release, and there will be tons of people who will just throw away their bulk. And before they throw it away, take it home because you guys can make commoner decks with them. You can make clash decks with them, and you can use your fun, awesome deck building styles to just gobble that stuff up, and you get it all to yourself, right? Some people's, other people's trash is I don't know. I don't remember how that saying goes, but that's exactly what it is.
Another man's treasure.
Exactly, that's the one. So it's very good. Obviously, if you have the space for it in your home, you could probably go to an LGS that's opening a lot of the product and also take home their bulk. If you know a guy who's got a box opening addiction, talk to them. They're gonna want to get rid of it, and you're gonna be the one to take it. Just make decks, play them with your friends, bring them to your LGS, and just start handing them out to people, and just have a good time. That's all it's really about. But make sure to definitely go to pre-release, and make sure that if you're not already, make sure you're able to watch, if not go to, the Tampa event this coming weekend, because it is definitely going to be one to see, because you're going to see a whole lot of new cards that were not spoiled at all. So it'll be good. Yeah, that's it. And you can find me at Ashen Wings TCG on YouTube. That's the other thing.
Nice. Yeah. I was gonna say my only other prediction is that one of the unrevealed Majestic cards has to be like it would be kind of fun if it was a 4-gang card, like a double, like a double.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but that just seems like it'd be ludicrous. I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but it seems fun. It's my thought, at least. It's my semi thought.
It'd be interesting.
I don't know. I don't think there'll be a gold pack. I think that was kind of a special Japanese onboard kind of a thing. Who knows? I mean, anything's possible. Obviously,
it could be silver this time.
They're going to put the collect in the collect thing. I would really like if at some point they did like a 9 series of cards that when accomplished, do I have it? I think I can show. Hold on.
You're talking about like the ones that make an entire big artwork piece, right?
Is this the right one? Yeah, it's the right one. So like, I'm a Gyarados fan, but like,
that's cool.
That was a custom. Excuse me. Piece of artwork I had somebody do for me. It's not even on real card; it's just on paper. But I wanted it to look like it was real. I'm also wearing a Ghirardelli chocolate.
Ghirardelli.
Yeah. Gyarados.
Oh my gosh.
Flesh and Blood Gyarados card. That'd be fantastic, please.
I mean, I'm sure there's a dragon concept somewhere around the world that's almost like Gyarados. So I'm sure that we'll see what Dromai picks up next time around.
Every one of my videos, I got like so much Pokemon, like specifically Magikarp and Gyarados. That's what it is, man. It's
fun.
The fish, love the fish. Maybe
Love
we'll
the
have
fish.
maybe we'll have a mermaid class. There you go. That's my wild accusation. There you go.
That'll come out with the pirate expansion too. Mermaids and pirates.
Merfolk is merfolk a trademarked term? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Mer people.
Maybe.
Mer people. That's what it's going to be.
There you go. Cool.
All right. Well,
Cool.
until next time, may your games be fun and your friendships grow. Cheers. And that wraps this episode of Geek Speak. Holy moly, Geek Speak, episode 12.
It's late. It's late. If you couldn't tell, it's dark.
BEDTIME. Yes. All right. Bye.
Bye.